Welcome back, everyone. My name is I was about to say my name is A Chance to Strive. That's how you know I'm rusty with this. But no, keep this in this. I don't mind at all. But hello, everyone. My name is Chance, and I am your host to A Chance to Strive. And today, we have my boy with me. I met this guy. Freshman year. You were in your sophomore year.
Freshman year.
Yeah, so this is my guy, Harvey. Introduce yourself.
My name's Javi. It's your boy. My handles on IG is Javi.xxi, so JAVI.xxi. Follow me there just for more content, of course, kind of going into my life. But yeah, we met a few years back, bro. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I've known Javi since, what the year was it? Technically 2019? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is going right before COVID.
Yeah, right before COVID. But,
yeah. What a crazy time.
At first, I thought you were like stuck up. Not even like because of anything you did, but like the group of people like I first saw you with.
Yeah. See, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Because the thing you have to say, I'm freshman year. I don't know nobody there. Mm-hmm. I know my cohort well because we did step and everything like that.
Right.
But I was like, I don't know who these niggas.
No, 100%.
I can still cuss but every single time. I hesitate on it because I'm like, damn, I'll be forgetting. But yeah, no, generally. I don't know. I thought the people you were with was kind of stuck up, but that's the thing in college. I've realized it's like everybody has their own little cohorts.
Right. I mean, you gotta admit, right?
Get to also know people first. Too.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the friends that you met at first when you were a freshman in college are not the same people that you're hanging out with now, right? You're not hitting them up every single day, and if you are, right, it's probably the 1%. So
yeah.
I definitely see where you're coming from. You know what I mean? But it's good vibes, good vibes. I'm glad you're in my
everybody there was actually good vibes. It was just more so like when I first got the introduction to who everyone was, I was kind of like, but then you're like, oh, they're cool as shit. It's just like everybody just has their icks and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But so today is gonna talk about a lot of random stuff. I know people's attention span aren't that great. So, but I will say I plan on making a full video dedicated to one topic. I know like a lot of the times I either do a video where it's like I break up a bunch of short little topics, kind of make it short and sweet, give you guys a lot to kind of digest with and take with you guys. But there's gonna be an episode that I think is gonna be very crucial, and it's gonna be about addiction. And it's not gonna be like anything in particular. It's gonna be addiction to behaviors, addiction to substances. Like it's gonna take. Basically, I'm just gonna kind of help people understand like what it takes for somebody to be addicted to something, how to properly look at it. Today, I'm gonna give like a quick little introduction to exactly what I mean, but I'm not gonna go in depth with it. Like I generally want to do additional research to give you guys a lot because I've noticed that a lot of us think addiction is only something that you tie to drugs, but you can be addicted to a person, you can be addicted to a behavior, like something as simple as like going to bed late. I know for a fact that somehow, somewhere I'm addicted to that. Like, there will be times where I set up my night perfectly. 11 hits. I go into shit ton of different directions.
Hey, it's okay to have an addictive personality, you know?
Nah.
When the addiction...
Not when you're impulsive.
When the impulsiveness sets in, that's when it becomes a different story. But if you're addicted to something healthy, then it's okay to maybe have that addictive personality. I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I feel you.
But I feel like still, like... people need to understand how exactly that operates. Because you can be addicted to something that's positive and still end up utilizing it in a negative way. Like something like the gym. I'm addicted with the gym, but let's just say I start going to the gym twice a day, 2 hours each time. Now that's 4 hours in my day. I'm not fulfilling any of my other responsibilities. I'm neglecting everything else that I have to handle. Now I've allowed the gym to become something that's toxic, because it plays a role in me distracting myself from everything that I have going on.
Right.
So for me, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I like understand. My fault. The snap took me off guard. But yeah, for me, things like there's a balance with everything.
Right.
Whether it's good, whether it's bad. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have no types of. There's nothing bad I do. I come on this platform all the time, tell y'all, do not look at me as somebody you put on a pedestal. I am just like you. I may know a little bit more, but even then, at times, I'm still not as disciplined as I need to be. So, it happens, bro. Mm-hmm. All right, now this is the part where we're gonna get on the back. Actually, I want to do this part first. This is Kevin Cooney. He's also part of the Big Night fam. Selly. This is actually dope. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, I have the blueberry pomegranate, and it's actually really, really good. So
He tried it before we were. The whole goal was to try it on together
when you see something
while
good,
we
you gotta
started
try
recording.
it, all right?
Bro, I gave it to him and told him what the purpose was. I was like, yo, put it to side for now. Oh no, I'm just gonna check it down. And it was already, all right, you know what? I have the mango pineapple. He already gave y'all his review. Let me see.
Blueberry pomegranate, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's really, really good. It's
my
not too
God.
tart.
Hold on.
You know, it's kind of sweet. What do you think?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of tough.
It's pretty good.
I like mango. I like pineapple.
Shout out Kevin Cooney,
I like
man.
5% liquor because you know I'm not an alcoholic.
Right.
I don't support drinking. I'm playing. Oh, I almost slipped.
Hey, we don't support drinking. We support having a good time.
Indeed. But no, generally, Kevin, you actually did really good on selling.
Yeah.
And the name too
Good stuff,
is
dude.
it's tough.
Good stuff.
All right. So the actual first topic, we're gonna make this very light. You know, take it easy on him a little bit. To me, I think communication dynamics are a real thing. I think a lot of the time I bring up dynamics a lot, just in general to people, like they have to flow well together. But at times, there becomes this disconnect the moment you have to have a hard conversation or things start to get difficult and then now flaws are starting to show. I've seen people where it's kind of like the moment a conversation starts to be difficult, there is no way for them to stay on the exact same page or to stay on track.
Right.
And you've definitely understand a little bit of this. But to you, has there been moments where it doesn't have to be into a particular person, particular relationship, but overall, have you felt as if there were times where because of how you communicated, not the way y'all go about communicating with each other, but I communicate this way, they communicated this way, and it seems like it became impossible for us to kind of be on the same page? Have you ever kind of had to deal with that?
100%. 100%.
So talk about that a little.
That goes for relationships, that goes for friends, that goes for anybody. I think that the more you communicate a certain way, and if it's in a complacent way, you know, your friends, your partners are going to say, okay, this is what they do, this is how they communicate. It becomes consistent, and that's how they're going to treat you, right? That's how they're going to want to talk to you every single time they see you. Being able to step out of your comfort zone and say, hey, you know, this is how I like to be spoken to, or, you know, this is how I would like for things to go and happen for the time that I'm with you, or, you know, as long as we're together, that's what matters, right? So kind of maintaining that boundary and holding that accountability for yourself as well as the person that you're talking to. But no, dude, 100%. I feel like people deal with it every single day. You know what I mean? So
I think we let shit slide too much when it comes to how people talk to us. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've realized a lot of people, and that's the thing, it sucks too. It's like, it happens in the best friendships that offer you the opportunity to put your foot down, learn to communicate about your boundaries, but sometimes you're so invested in those relationships, you don't want to do nothing to affect it. And I've realized it's kind of like, sometimes some of my boys will be like, oh, nah, you're taking this shit too seriously, or like, are you sensitive? Nah, you mad sensitive. And that's cool and all, but I'm not gonna hold you. It's like, I will say this. I have certain guy friends where we shoot the shit, we argue, we say shit to each other. 2 seconds later, I promise you say something to me, he's gonna take it personally. 2 seconds later, you say something about him, I'm gonna take it personally. There's a certain thing, there's certain men, we have friendships where we give each other room to express our anger without making us feel like we can't come back from it. All right, if me and my boy get in it's a heated argument, it gets explosive, the fact that because I said something in the moment while things were heated, it automatically is clipped.
right.
For guys, that's kind of crazy. For me to be one of your day ones, you're like, nah, you one of my closest boys.
Yeah.
And bro, it's room.
I got really lucky having you, right, as a friend, because I noticed that a lot of the times when we're going back and forth, it's about 2K, right? For example, shout out NBA 2K, shout out Ronnie.
Yeah, fuck Ronnie. Fuck that game.
But-
I deleted it.
And,
For my mental health. I deleted the game for my mental health.
Yo, having a good game, having a bad game, regardless of what happens, right? At the end of the day, we're still boys, all right? If I get on the game, you get on the game, or if I don't, or you don't, right? And you say that I do, or you say that you're gonna get on, you know, I say that I'm gonna get on and I don't, you know?
I called his ass on that.
You
I
held
called
that
his ass on
accountability
literally
earlier today.
This morning, I was like, yo, hey, I love you. I love you.
That was needed. that was needed. And to create a room, to create that space, to have that conversation, to be like, hey, by the way, this is what's kind of on my mind right now. You got to have those conversations. If you feel like you can't have those conversations with your boy, you know what I mean?
It's not your boy, bro.
It's either not your boy or that's a whole different conversation to have.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like,
You know?
like, what you have to understand is it's like sometimes we take putting our foot down way too seriously. That was
agree.
also one thing. Like, when I called you out, you didn't feel like I was very much 100% serious.
Yeah.
But at any point did you feel like, damn, this nigga's on my dick? Because, bro, I'm not that person. But it was,
you know?
like, I'll literally break it down to y'all. So this is what he does. And I'm telling you, like, I don't care. Like, the whole idea is, like, communicate, be open. That's what makes a friendship more sustainable. Because my personality is not going to always work with his. Why? Because I'm continuously growing, and so is he. At a certain point, part of our personalities there might be a little disconnect because it's like you're not used to every version of me. You're saying like this is Chance. I know his core values. I know he's gonna change, but this is who he is for the most part. At a certain point, I might add on to something about me that doesn't work too well for you. Same shit. So if we can't have a conversation with like, yo, I ain't gonna hold you, I'm not really the biggest fan of this. Look, no hard feelings, but this matters to me. That's basically how I broke it down. It was like he'll tell me, oh, I got you, I'll get on the game. And then guess what? He doesn't get on the game and says nothing. For me, I'm big on communication. I'm big on quality time. If he's going through some shit, he says get on the game, I'm gonna hop on the game. Guess why? Because I know it's quality time. We get to shoot the shit. It's not like we're just on a video game. Oh yeah, press X. This is like, no, we're chatting the whole entire time as if we're like on FaceTime or something. So for me, that matters. And I was like, yo, for me to stop believing in your words, and this matters to me, I don't want that. I was like, I don't want to start looking at things you say and not take them seriously.
And I'm glad you said it.
See, because for me,
but for
sometimes people let that shit slide in the background and say absolutely nothing. Nah, this nigga's been bullshitting. You ever said anything? Nah. I'm like, bro, I get it. Sometimes it's like, nah, but this nigga shouldn't be playing with my time. Anyways, I don't gotta take it personally because I care about this man. So I don't want something to happen. It was just like, yo, take this shit seriously. And it was cool.
Hey, tighten up, bro. Tighten up. But not everyone is ready for those conversations, right?
All, bro,
it does take a lot of growing to get to that point, right? Like you want to be able to tell your boy, like, hey, you gotta really work on this right now, brother. And if you don't, not that we're not gonna be friends anymore, but
I'm gonna take it personally.
I am gonna take it personally. I'm gonna gain some distance, right? With that distance comes growth. So what are you able to do as the person that's being held accountability to be able to grow out of that situation, right? And for me personally, it's just stepping back and saying, hey, the last couple times we were trying to play, I did not get on, right? And it's real.
Niggas don't fuck with me.
That quality, but that quality time is real.
Peoples.
That quality time is real, man. And hey, to all the girls with boyfriends out there that are watching this podcast right now, it's more
Let your man play.
It's more than a game.
Let that man play. It's the same reason you put on makeup. It's a nice escape from reality, nigga.
Exactly. But going back to it, man, it really is one of those conversations you should have, and holding that accountability for, especially in your relationships with your friends, your best friends, right? Just make sure you can talk to them, man. Because if you can't talk to them, then why are y'all friends? You know what I'm saying? But
I don't get it, bro.
Hey, man, to each their own. Everyone's different, right? But just make sure you're having those conversations at home. It's really important.
Boundaries are important. Yeah. And the thing is, just because, and goes back to like the whole communication dynamic, right? Like sometimes there are people that are just very avoidant, and then there are people that are just very direct. Although that doesn't say there's a disconnect there, in hard conversations, those two types of people, they want the complete opposite thing. Right. When someone is very direct, the moment a conversation is getting hard, for them, it's kind of like, no, I need us to acknowledge exactly what's important here. I want to make sure we're on the exact same page. No, don't give me any additional information. Stay on track. That's a person that's very direct. I don't care about any of that. Just talk about this. We can talk about everything else that matters first, but I'm directing my attention to this. And as someone who's very avoidant, the moment that conversation gets hard, you want to dip, you want to bounce. So now you got somebody that, and this is why I'm saying like communication dynamics matter, and you have to understand like, yo, this is how we communicate.
Right.
Let's find a way to make sure it's easy on both of us. And this is why I'm saying something like that's so bad. The person that's avoidant, that's trying to pull back, even if they're trying to do it in a very slow manner, in a respectful way, you're gonna look at that person who's very direct as if they're being aggressive. because you're trying to pull away for something. You might have a good reason. Maybe you're someone who's very explosive, which is why you're avoidant, because when you care too much and you focus on the issue, you might explode, and you don't like that version of yourself. So I'm saying there are valid reasons of being both person. It's valid. That person that's very direct, maybe their issue is they can't stay on track. So for them, they really have to drill it into themselves, like, no, I want to talk about this. But at a certain point, if it gets hard, this person's going to be look up as you're aggressive.
Right.
And then the other person, how are you going to look at the other person? You're like, damn, you're trying to walk away from this. I'm trying to tell you I care about this conversation. You're trying to pull away from me. You're going to say, damn, you don't care about my emotions. You want to just walk away from this. Now you're feeling neglected. But the whole purpose of me breaking down this dynamic that doesn't work is to say, no one here is doing anything bad. But still there's a disconnect, perception kicks in. Now you're saying, oh, you're trying to do something. And I feel like a lot of times we think our intentions are really, that's just it. Like it handles everything. As if like, oh, my intention wasn't to hurt you. So why the fuck do I care if he was hurt? Excuse me? I can have great intentions, but if what came out of this situation was not that, then there's something we gotta fix. And a lot of people, I see this in a lot of relationships, bro, motherfuckers just don't know how to talk to each other. And y'all act so oblivious to each other's flaws. For me, if you push me to a point where I explode, or if you constantly push me in a corner and you're not listening to what the fuck I'm saying, I will explode. But I am the most secured person you can ever come across.
Domino effect. It's real.
So my thing is, it's like, damage control isn't something only one person in a relationship should be in control of.
Right.
Both of y'all have to do that shit at the exact same time. At a certain point, that person that was like, oh, I know let's just say the woman is the one that's avoidant. That person that's very direct should have just directed the conversation to her emotions. Be like, yo, I know you want to pull away. And this is not my attempt. I'm not trying to push you into a corner where I make you feel uncomfortable. I just want to make sure that I can focus on exactly this because this is what matters to me. This is what I mainly care about. And the person that's avoidant, now you feel a little safer. Now you don't feel like this is something you have to run away from. This is something you have to be scared of blowing up from. Now it's just, I'm pulling it back because honestly, I'm afraid of what I may get to. At times I say things in these moments that I don't mean. It's triggering for me when I'm in these situations where it's a hard conversation. Not necessarily what's being said, but just the intensity of this.
I like the perspective of the aggressor, right? For the avoidant, super important to kind of decipher why you're feeling that way. Are you embarrassed? Do you not want to feel that feeling of disappointment, right, for that person that you're speaking to? Are you embarrassed, right? Like, it gets to a point where you've really got to sit down and understand the person that you are, as you know what I mean? So in terms of that communication style, you don't want to be in that conversation right now.
Be self-aware.
You'd rather be at home under the sheets, right? But realistically, you have to tackle that conversation head on. You got to see where they're coming from so you can then tell them, hey, this is where I'm coming from too. The whole point of being avoidant is the fact that you don't want to answer to anything that they got to say, right? So for me personally, right, let's say I'm the avoidant in my relationship or in, some of my relationships with other people. Why am I going to be their friend? Let's say my parents, right? My father can be a little more, right, aggressive when he speaks sometimes, right, in his tone. Am I going to sit there and just run away from the conversation? No, I can't, right? Because this is a learning moment. This is a teaching moment from a pop. He's telling me these things so that I can become a better man, right? To become a better person. So remember, a lot of these conversations you're going to have with certain people that have this certain tone or not going to say an aggressor, right? Because this person does have good things to say, just not speaking in the best way possible or the way that you like to be spoken to. So communicating, hey, this is how I want to be spoken to as well. Not just having the aggressor kind of say, oh, maybe I should have spoken to you a little differently or a little better from your perspective. You should come to your side as well and say, hey, I'm definitely avoiding this conversation right now. What can I do to create a little better partnership, a little better connection with this person instead of just kind of avoiding all the conversations that come?
Yeah,
there's no point in running away, man.
Yeah, I will say that's what I'm saying. It's like both parties have to be in control of the damage control.
Right.
Like, there's one thing that I've realized, like, relationships are about dynamics, which hats you guys wear. It depends on your qualifications, the tools you have in your tool set. Like, it depends on who you are. But I will say one thing that I've noticed is You can't have one person be in control of fixing problems.
Right.
It just doesn't work, bro. Like, there's gonna be a level of resentment is gonna be built one way or another. Because you have to understand, it's not just when you're the only person that's in like the moment y'all in hard conversations. I bet I gotta draw the boat. Like, I just know this. If I don't,
it might crumble. What are we
like,
gonna do?
whoever I'm with might be able to might hold on, but I know once I'm not driving the boat, we're not in the safest hands.
So what do you do?
You have to be willing to invest everything you know into that person.
That's right.
Not every single person is gonna come together and automatically be the exact same type of problem solvers and be on the same level. It don't happen.
But that's what the talking stage is for, right?
That's
what the honeymoon is for.
Let's be honest. In the talking stage, sometimes you're so invested in keeping the honeymoon phase, you will purposely avoid certain conversations.
I genuinely think
Like, there's
that
certain people that
will
care
hide
about
that, right?
There are people that care about politics so much, they will never bring it up in the lovey-dovey phase.
I agree.
On purpose.
I agree.
On purpose. Why? Because they're so scared of, damn,
Showing
this
that.
might end it.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine being stuck way too quick, right? 3 months in, come on.
Bro, yeah,
No, it happens to the best of us. Happens to the best.
But nah, talk. When it comes to solving problems, like, generally, both parties got to play a role in it. That's why right now one of my non-negotiables is somebody who's really good at conflict resolution. Because I am way too good at that shit. You can ask this man firsthand. Like, I know I come on a platform and I say some of these things, but bro, I promise y'all, I'm generally pretty decent at this shit.
It's real.
Even when the cameras are not on. Like,
It's real.
I will be on the phone with these niggas and it'll be like, yo, this man is spitting right now. Bro, I have certain moments where I really be saying some shit and you're like, damn.
That was hard. That was a bar.
You feel me?
That was a bar.
But that's really me. But both parties have to be willing to invest. And the thing is, it's okay to not be good at certain things, but as long as you're admitting it, right? And I think part of what you said about, like, if you're trying to avoid a situation, just be honest about why you're avoiding it.
If you can't cook, stay the hell out the kitchen, man.
He's not saying anything about actually cooking, ladies. He's not being misogynistic. I promise. No, but generally, like, what I've recognized is it doesn't really work. Both parties have to be willing to be uncomfortable. And a lot of the times, whatever you're avoiding and you're not giving the person access to, whatever you're avoiding and you're not giving that person access to, it tends to be the thing that would solve the current issue at hand. And this is exactly what I'll say, right? Let's just say I'm the aggressor, you're avoidant, right? Mm-hmm. We're having a certain conversation, and I just hit on something deep, right? Ooh. And you're like, for you normally stray away from this realization, and I just put it in your head, and you're like, and this is the thing that makes you feel so small because of what your family has done in the past and all of this extra shit.
But you don't know that.
I don't know that. So I'm like, yo, I'm trying to talk to you about some real shit, and for you, you're like, damn, bro, I'm dealing with a lot right now. Like, you don't understand how much this is. It's a lot. It weighs a lot. And the whole time, you say nothing at all. And I'm like, bro, what? Like, the fuck did I do?
Right.
Like, you said be this type of friend. Like, I'm caring about you. I'm bringing up these hard conversations. And now that I'm trying to have it, you don't want to have it. But if you would have just been like, I'm not going to hold you. Yeah, this is not that easy of a conversation for me. I'll be like, what you mean? And then you break down exactly why. Now I have access to enough. If I can maneuver that conversation, I'll be like, since this is what you care about, can we do this instead? Does that work for you? Yeah, I think that works.
But
and
for
if
the
it doesn't,
avoidant, right?
If you don't have the right toolbox and it doesn't work, that's fine. Just be like, hey, I'm not 100% sure how to guide you through this, but I'm going to let you sit with it. And maybe the next time we have this conversation, it's a little easier to have.
But you've got to admit, the avoidant now, hey, you've got the ball in your court.
Talk. Right? Admit it, bro.
This has to be the opportunity when the avoidant says something.
Indeed.
Right?
Like, you
just
have
brought this
access to not make this situation confusing for the other person. Like, and this is what I need avoidant people to understand. And this is the thing, right? I'm a very secured person. But when I'm not in a place of security, let's just say the issue at hand is something that makes me feel insecure. I'm not going to tap into my secured traits. I'm going to tap into my avoidant traits because I don't want to feel insecure because I'm so secured. So I'm going to avoid the fuck out of it. You have to understand, it's like whether or not you're secured, you're avoidant, you're whatever it is, you tap into different ones based off how you're feeling. I feel like a lot of people need to understand this. Well, you're not an avoidant person, so it must be. No, I'm not an avoidant person, but in this very moment, this is what works the best for me. So when you're an avoidant person, you have to, what I need y'all to understand is, it's okay to not want to explain exactly why you're avoiding it. Like when I brought up the last example, all I said was these conversations are really hard for me. At times, we're so scared of like, I don't think I'm ready to talk about what's really creating all this discomfort. You don't have to.
Right.
Just give the person enough grace to say like, yo, this isn't you. And what's happening here is confusing. I just can't unravel through that with you right now.
Right.
And that's it. A lot of the times I've met so many people, it's like, nah, I just don't want to talk about it. I'm like, bro, we don't got to talk about it. You just have to present it, and I will respect it. But I will say, a lot of y'all motherfuckers do not respect when a person says, I do not want to talk about this. And that's the next thing I'm going to have you speak on. There is such a thing as emotional, like holding someone emotionally hostage. I believe that is a fucking thing. A lot of people don't talk about it, and I know why people don't talk about it. Because you have to be emotionally intelligent to hold someone emotionally hostage. Who are the most emotionally intelligent ones?
The aggressors.
No, I'm not gonna hold you. I'll say woman. I don't think a man can hold woman emotionally hostage as much as they can do it, just because a man is not as smart. It's just gonna be aggressive. For a woman can literally sit here with you for 2 or 3 hours and get you to talk about what she wants to talk about just because she's not satisfied with it.
Easy.
A man can't do that. You have to navigate me to all these questions, answers, and everything like that. You don't have the skills to do that. Bro, I've been in relationships with women, and this is talking about, like, I'm not always avoiding it. There are times where, I just can't do this right now. I want to, but at this very moment, I can't. I have way too much anger in me, and you don't have the capacity to hold on to my emotions if it is being delivered to you in that way. So for me, I'm like, I know the only way for me to say anything about my emotions right now is to yell. It's to scream a little bit. It's to get a little tensed up. And none of that works for you. So for the sake of making sure we can hold the peace, not right now. But I've had a lot of people, they do not respect the fact that I'm not ready to have a conversation about something. Bro, and at times, I'll be very honest, that has pushed me to lie in a lot of serious conversations. Like, there is a lot of shame. There is a lot of guilt. There is a lot of this. And I'm like, bro, it's a lot right now. Just give me a second. I'll come to terms. I want to come to terms with it, and then I'm going to give it to you. But at times, you're forcing something out of me before I've even admitted it to myself.
Right.
How the fuck can I present that in a pretty way when I don't even know what's really happening? Have you ever had to deal with that? And how does it make you feel in the moment? And how does it make you feel afterwards? Like when you're in a conversation and you're just like, I just need a second. I just need to pull away. Whatever that looks like. And they're not giving that to you.
I feel like as a guy, right, that's been in a few relationships, right? I think one of the big things is sometimes you're called out for something in the moment that you weren't expecting to be called out or in that moment, right? So you're kind of caught off guard. Yeah. One thing that I will say is definitely don't peel away. Don't look at that conversation and say, I have resentment towards this person for saying something, right? There's one thing being direct, and there's also another thing being aggressive, right? A lot of times within our conversations, right, I know that you're just being direct.
Yeah.
But you could also present that same information to somebody else.
And they think I'm
and they think it's being aggressive.
Yeah.
Right? My question to you now is, what do we do, let's say, two aggressors, or two avoidants in a relationship? They didn't notice it at first during the talking stage, but now they're kind of seeing it now. What do they do?
I'd say it's like, wait, what does the aggressor does?
So let's say aggressor.
The person who's
aggressor.
direct, let's pull away from the aggressor. The person who's being direct and the person who's being avoidant. Which one am I speaking on?
So let's say you're in the perspective of an avoidant person, also with an avoidant person.
Ooh.
You didn't see that,
look, guys.
right?
Two avoidant people, they don't work that well. Hold on. Just because we've been talking about two attachment styles heavy I'm gonna bring up the third one, which is anxious. There's avoidant, there's anxious, and there's secured. And I will give y'all a little tip on how these work, right? I mean, they're exact. And when it comes to the word, it's exactly that. Someone who avoids things, someone who's very anxious, and they act on. It's more so what you choose to act on. I act on my security, so I'm gonna put my foot down. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I gotta do. Someone who's avoidant, I'm gonna act on the avoidance by when you want to bring up a serious conversation, I don't want to have it. When you randomly call me, I turn my phone off because I don't want you to even have access to me. Someone who's anxious, they act on the anxious part of them. Oh, what is he doing right now? He might be cheating on me. I'm gonna spam. He's not picking up. Nah, I'm gonna keep calling you. I'm gonna keep calling you. Oh, nah. Now I'm gonna drive to your address. Your location's not on. Whole time, bro's phone died and he was at the court. So it's the part that you choose to act on, right? That's why I can be a secured person, but in moments where I'm not, in moments where it doesn't present a situation that I'm secured about, I might act on what I'm feeling the most at the moment. If it's my anxiety, I'm gonna tap into that. All right, good. And now the other part of that is every single one of these attachment styles work best with a secured person. You have to understand, right? Secured. What does that represent? Security. If you have someone who's very anxious, what are they looking for? They're looking for security. Right. If you have someone who's very avoidant and they want to dodge something, in reality, there's no security here, so they're leaving. So they're looking for security, but because it's not here, they pull away. Someone who's anxious looks for security and they push a lot closer because it's not there. I'm not gonna hold you. That was actually a great way to break that down.
Bar.
But right? So that's how these things work. Everyone looks for security. It doesn't mean someone who's anxious can't provide someone who's avoidant security. But it's just the person who's more secured, you represent that. So it's easy to act on because it's just like, I just want to be in their space because there's just a lot of security that comes with them. They're not normally wavered by a lot. Like I've been around people where they have these attachment styles. And I know this shorty, bro, like she lost something. And her mind was on it for 2-3 days. And to me as a secured person, like I don't normally operate under these pretenses where it's like something happens and it stays with my mind. I need to figure it out.
Right.
Nah, there's no way. Like you come back home from work. It was right there. Like damn. I don't like problems, bro.
I don't like drama.
I don't like stress shit. So I pull away from shit quick. But if you're two avoidant people together, okay, a secured person normally can set the standard and the avoidant person or the anxious person really buys into that system and it works for the both of them.
Right.
If it's two people that are avoidant and anxious, you guys have to create a system that acknowledges your flaws. I am anxious in these moments because I've never had someone choose me. I have been cheated on multiple times. Even my family made me feel like they would not choose me unless I did what they wanted to. So it's very hard for me to feel secured. So now you're like, okay, so you need a shit ton of fucking reassurance, don't you?
Right. These things have to be communicated early too.
Right? A lot of people don't because you don't realize it's like a lot of the times you're in a relationship with somebody and you feel some type of way about some shit they did and you're like, the fuck? Nah, I shouldn't feel this way. I'm not sensitive. I'm not emotional.
Or on the other side of that coin, you do feel that way. And now you're going after them subliminally, right?
Without realizing, I get I'm calling out something that's valid, but why do I feel so strongly?
Right.
A lot of the times we don't step back and be like, I know what they did. It's wrong. I have my reasons, but what's making me react this way? Not why do I feel this way? I feel like people sometimes don't realize this. A feeling and a reaction are two different things. Your feelings are just your perception based off what happened. Reacting, there's a trigger. That's more of a trigger word. You're reacting. You're not in control. Something happened and you're responding. Where does this response comes from? It's kind of like coding. If I type 5 times 5 in something and I press enter, there's a response that it gives me. That's the answer. There's nothing in control. When it comes to the computer, it's not in control. It's just saying you inputted something. I'm going to react to what you did. You have to understand where that comes from. For a computer, that's just the algorithm that was placed. For you as a person with emotions, something about your experiences or your past or what you believe made you react so strongly. And if all you're gonna focus on is just you gonna nail someone, you're gonna be on someone's ass, like, nah, what the fuck? I'm not gonna hold you. I have been that person where I've drilled somebody for some shit, and they're like, I get it, I'm in the wrong, but is this really that necessary, nigga?
Right, like I wasn't aware at first. My bad.
Yeah. And for me, I wasn't aware of it. So I'm not sitting and be like, oh, nah, you straight. Yeah, nah, it's okay, it's okay. I'm like, nah, like, how could you not see? Like, it's the principle. And then the whole time I'm like, damn, my ex pulled some bullshit like this.
That's one thing that I had to grow out of because I
sometimes
realized
you don't
I was taking
don't
problems
realize
from
it.
past relationships
And you brought it
into
to
new
new one.
relationships.
You judged it from like
Yeah.
the same, you had the same capacity for like your ex, you let her get to this point before you got on her ass. But the new
As
person,
if- yeah.
you let her get here.
As
It's
if
like,
that new person is now on strike 2, strike 3,
strike three
because
already.
of what happened
It
prior.
didn't even, and like, nigga, damn.
Yeah.
Nigga, damn.
Yeah.
I've realized that because I've been a very secured person, but at a certain point, I dated 2 people back to back that shared certain traits together. I wouldn't say like they were the exact same, but there were ways where they were flawed, and they were flawed in popular ways that young women tend to be flawed in. And I'm not gonna hold you. There were times when this new person that came around that was a better option, that did more to love me and everything, like the whole nine, like she's doing her part. But then there were moments where I was not fair to her when it comes to just how much I really got on her ass for some shit. I'm very understanding, I'm very caring, but
Gets to a point.
that is true. But I still had to admit that she did not deserve me getting on her ass like this.
That's right.
Because this is how I got on this person's ass. And why did I get on their ass like this? Because I felt like they did not care. So sometimes it's like, it's not just about, oh, nah, you get to a point where you're It's more so like, I acted like this to someone in my past the exact same way. Why did I do that? I did that because I felt like there was no getting through to them. My current person is not that. I can get through to them. So why am I going to the extreme the same way I used to just because I'm used to like, oh, this gets me to a solution? I think that's the thing. It's like,
But
with
is it
certain
the
people in your
solution that
past,
you
it
really
doesn't
want?
work.
Is it the solution that you really want?
That's the thing. Because
wouldn't
I'm
know.
used to operating with a person that I wasn't even supposed to be with, it was what I needed to do. It wasn't what I should have done. With this person, I was like, what works? Breaking it down for them, reminding them of this is the principle. This is exactly how I apply it to this, and that. Which means, yes, I communicated the principle, but there are times where I'm still going to need to create that connection from someone. This is the principle. This is what I care about. When it comes to this situation, that is new. The principle isn't new. We talk about it all the time. But
To them.
I need you to see the correlation between this thing that I told you I really care about and this thing that you're not realizing is part of it. So at times I've realized because you talk about a big picture thing so much, you forget how so much can go underneath that exact same umbrella. I showed you what the umbrella was. But every time something new pops up, I should be willing to tell you, this is the umbrella. This falls underneath it. It doesn't fall outside of it. Based off your perception, it might. But this is about me. This is about how I function and how I request to be loved. This is the same thing to me. So this is what we stray away from. I bet. Now I know it's underneath it. I know it's underneath this umbrella. And instead of looking at it like this, I can look at it like this. For people that are not seeing what I'm doing, I'm talking about pretty much having a bottle underneath my hands or outside of my hands. If it's out there, it doesn't apply. This is not something he's going to react to. This is not something he cares strongly for. But if it's here, this is something, you know, I'm big on principles. Now you don't have to look at this as if it's something entirely different. You just say this is part of this principle, and I respect it based off how much he cares about this.
Right.
So sometimes it's like, we're very impatient, bro. And I'm saying this because I think I'm one of the most patient people that I know. And I still do this shit. Bro, sometimes I get tired of being the person that always has to, like, be patient. I have to do this. I have to do that. And this is why I say you can't only have one person fixing problems. Because then at a certain point, I want you to act the fuck up because I don't get to act the fuck up.
It's true.
Because in those hard conversations, we're cussing, we're doing this, we're doing that.
Yeah, we were
But if
talking
I'm
about the
one that
domino
has to be the
effect earlier,
problem
too.
solver, I don't pull back.
Right, you keep on going through those situations where that domino effect comes into play, right? And
be
you keep
tricky.
on going through small stuff, and then it becomes one big thing, right? And you've communicated it. So it's worse now. The domino effect happened, small things happened, but you communicated like, I didn't feel comfortable about this happening in the first place.
Yeah.
What do? Now you explode, right? Now you're mad at the person, now you're holding resentment, now you're pissed within your relationship or your friendship, whatever it is with this person, and now there's no coming back from it. Right? You blow up on this person so bad this other person doesn't let you essentially apologize, right, for what you've just done. They don't forgive you for the actions you just displayed. So what do? Right? Do you keep on holding it back, right? Or do you just level out and understand, I should have brought this up earlier. Like, my patience ran thin, but I should have said something before. The complacency has set in. Now I got to say something, right? Hold yourself accountable too. Sometimes it's hard to do that. Let me tell you, it's hard to hold
Especially
yourself accountable.
if the person is in the wrong more than you.
Oh yeah,
Part of you is like you recognize it, you're like, but this motherfucker ain't even talking about this shit. Fuck that. I'm not saying
for my Zen folk, if you're like a it is what it is type person like I am, oh man, like sometimes it is not what it is.
I don't know, bro.
I'm be honest, but hey, words to a wise
Honesty,
man.
bro. Y'all gotta be honest.
A wise man once told me, at the end of the day, it's night. So, hey, same rule applies, right? You lay your head down at the end of the night, you get horizontal, you wake up in the morning, and you're still horizontal. You wake up, how you feeling? The same? Are you pissed? Have you just thought about what you were going through, right? Hey, time to wake up a new person. That's all it is, bro. It is what it is at the end of the day, you know?
Indeed. So this next segment is gonna be for my people pleasers, because I grew up as one. I'll be very honest. I was in a household where not a lot of attention was paid to me, but I didn't have the energy to be bad and act out. So I just tried to earn people's validation a lot. And I definitely noticed that, especially even while I was on social media. Like, you have to understand, like, when you grew up a certain way, it is very hard to pull out of certain things.
Right.
Because you don't realize just how much this flaw you have affects so many other areas in your life. It's not until you start healing and you start connecting the dots, you're like, okay, this is what this is. Wait, is this what I do on my job? Damn, I do this in my relationships? Fuck. Even to new friends? Nah, there's no way. Like, there are certain things that are so prominent, they are literally, they take place in almost every little thing that you do, and you just don't realize it. But to my people pleasers, I was very much that, still struggling from that at times, noticing, like, at times my answers are not exactly what I want them to be. And at times I have to hold myself accountable, like, yo, you're saying this because you know it puts you in a better position when it comes to how people look at you. But
Don't
this
be a
is not
yes
what
man.
you want. This is not what you want.
It's okay to say no.
100%.
okay
And
to
at
say no.
times when it feels the most uncomfortable to say no is exactly when you should say it.
When you should say it.
There are times where I've just had practice putting my foot down. Like, I didn't really care that much about this, but I'm like, this person might react in a bad way with it. Let me just see what this is like. No. And then sometimes the person does react in a bad way, and I'm like, so now this is an opportunity to not react.
Yeah. If
Sometimes
there's one thing I
bro,
hate,
life is a
man-
game, bro. Like, all you are in control of your reactions, which
Exactly.
you can digest, what you can pull out of things. What happens, you're not in control of that. So, why not have a little bit of fun with it? When I tell you there's not much that I do that doesn't have to do with my self-development, there are times where I play with people's heads. I'll be very honest. It's not a noble thing. It's only when I've reached to a point where I'm like, you trying to fuck me at this point, I get it. But just create situations where you can extract something that makes you better. And for people pleasers, one thing that I've realized is a lot of the times we are so, like, the concept of putting yourself first is such a foreign concept to you that you constantly look for external validation every single time you got to put your foot down or you're putting down a boundary. Like, what I felt was, let's just say I got to tell a shorty, like, I'm not going to hold you. Like, you flaked on 2 links. I don't even want to talk to you anymore because you're wasting my time. My time is something that's very valuable to me. There are times where after the first time, I've broken down exactly to this person, yo, my time is very valuable to me. This is why it's valuable to me. I don't have a lot of it. So the people I give it to, I want them to take it very seriously.
For a lot
They
of
did
guys,
it.
it's hard.
That's my point. And then let's just say Shorty did that a second time. I'm re-explaining it. And then the third time, I'm re-explaining it. And I'm getting, it's like, I know I had to do my decision, but it's like, why am I explaining it? And a lot of the times I realize I always want to explain myself. I always want to be heard. I always want to be understood. But at times, that's not really what it is. At times, I just don't feel comfortable with the fact that I'm taking a decision that prioritizes myself, but ultimately it ends up possibly risking how someone views me. Right? Yes, I'm making decisions because I prioritize my time and I want someone to understand, like, this needs to be respected. It's not a choice. But now I'm like, this is the part of me that's so used to people pleasing, right? Because I did something that I'm not used to. Now the people pleaser in me it's like, yo, we're not supposed to do this. Why? Why weren't we supposed to do this? She's going to look at you like you're too serious, right? Every single time that thought kicks in, it brings me to someone that's a lot smaller that doesn't want to protect myself, that is okay with just taking in the abuse, letting someone take advantage of me. But in reality, it's like, all I'm doing is I set my boundary. And if it's already been, if I already explained it, why do I always feel like I have to give people more of an explanation? Even when I'm willing to put my foot down, I am so scared of this person looking at me in a certain way, in a certain light. And I realize that's why I block people now.
Easy.
I block them. I block them. You know why? I don't know what the fuck they were going to say. The people pleaser in me that is so scared of this perception someone might have, it's a little better now. You know, it's like, hold on. Okay.
How many times have you sat there and been like, I should have said this?
A lot of times, bro.
Too many times.
I drill myself for my flaws.
Right.
It is a very strong one, and it's one that I really can't pull myself out of it. Bro, I don't think you understand. It's like, at a certain point, I wasn't shown a lot of attention in my household.
Right.
So for me to feel loved, I always felt like I had to go above and beyond to do something for someone. I had to look at my brother. Yo, how's my brother struggling? Yo, let me go help him out. Yo, what's my mom doing? Oh, she seems like she's struggling. Let me go do something. If I go into my room by myself and I'm not doing nothing for no one comes to me. Why?
That's true.
Because I was so addicted to this title that I was given when I was young. You handle everything on your own. And then I fell in love with it so much that I realized it's not what I wanted. I wanted to be cared for. I wanted to be nurtured. I wanted to be seen. But someone who handles everything doesn't need any of that.
And it's so unfortunate.
So I dealt with that.
You had to grow through that, where you were trying to help somebody else at the expense of yourself.
Yeah, and the whole time.
And
And now
your
when I'm
time,
putting my
losing
foot
your
down, I feel
patience.
bad. I'm like, deal.
Hey,
Yeah,
moral of the
it's a tough
story is,
process,
hey,
bro.
if you rehearse before, just rehearse your lines, bro. You'll be so much better for it. You know, just think about what you're gonna say prior. That's all it really comes down to. A lot of times in my conversations, debates, arguments, whatever you want to call them, I always think about what I should have said. I always think if I said this is what the outcome would have been. And I hate thinking about that stuff because I'm like, you know what? In this next conversation that I have, this is what I'm gonna say. But now it's the wrong person to say it to. Right? This is a whole different person, whole different ballgame, and I'm saying what I should have said prior to somebody else now.
Yeah, and I will say sometimes I had to even notice this. Like sometimes when I'm thinking, oh, what should I have said? I realize what I'm thinking about is what would have made the situation better, not
Right.
what would have made me feel better, not what I would have really wanted. Because sometimes it's like I'll think about it. I'm like, damn, this person got really mad. Like it got heated. Maybe I should have just thought about a way to negate whatever kind of arose. But then I realize it's like half the time I don't really care for that. I just don't want people to get mad at me. But I can't be scared of shit like that because I've realized I'm not in control of shit outside of myself and how I choose to react. Which is why I'm saying I block people very frequently now. It's not because the situations always call for that. It doesn't. There are times where the person won't text me if I don't text them back. But I know this is a way for me to practice boundaries. This is a way for me to practice not being people pleasing. Because the thing is, once you're blocked, whatever idea you have of me, you have to be stuck with it. You don't have a chance to come back to me to confirm shit. You don't have the chance to come back to me to do nothing. I have so much power because I just told you, whatever you think of me, you're going to have to sit with it. I will not give you access to anything else. Whatever you choose to do is you and you only. I am not a part of it, and it does not affect me. That allows me to pull myself out the situation, and it allows me to not care about what version of me is going to manifest in their head based off their perception, based off
Right.
their experiences.
Now you can think of best possible outcome.
Now I just think of me. If I have access to that person, I'm always going to think about it because that part of me, that people pleaser in me, bro, I spent most of my life like this. Do you truly think 5-6 years of being aware of it in my adulthood life, I'm going to fix it? Fucks no. Sometimes we're very childish with how quickly we can think we can change something. And it's like you don't realize how long it took for something to go wrong for you to recognize it. And now you think you're going to backtrack that process in 2-3 months? You're bugging the fuck out.
No, seriously.
No matter how aware you think you are of something, it manifests in your life in different ways that you won't recognize until those parts of your life starts to have problems. And now you're like, you have to take off these rose-colored glasses. Okay, things aren't perfect. Let me see what's happening. Even though I did the opposite thing, I couldn't see when I did this, but type shit. But yeah, what do you think is something you'd say people least understand about you when you're communicating?
I feel like I like to be direct, right? When it comes down to how I'm feeling. I don't like to be direct with how it affects the other person, though.
What do you mean?
So let's say, for example, you came up to me and you said, hey, you got to start going to the gym, right? This is what you got to do. Don't necessarily show me a way to do it, right? So a problem without a solution. You're not going to present me a problem without a solution, would you? You know what I mean? So you got to think twice about it. But let's say you're telling me to go to the gym and I go, okay, I want to go. I want to start going, but, right now I just don't have enough time, right? I'm saying this in terms of my schedule, right? This is how my schedule works. I could be deflecting and saying, hey, I just don't want to go, right? But now at the expense of your feelings, right? If I were to just be like, I don't want to go, I'm not going to go just because you told me to, right? Yeah. That's what I want to say, but I'm not going to because it's your feelings that I have in mind, right? Sometimes that becomes consistent and that becomes complacency, right? When you're saving someone else's feelings, right? You're saving someone else's feelings at the expense of your own while also holding that communication as direct. So I'm telling you, I don't want to go, but you think it's for a whole other reason, right? Yeah. So it's like those half-truths, and that's where I, you know what I mean, have to get a little better.
Yeah. What I will say is kind of like,
yeah,
I think that all goes into trust, right? Because I don't think me and Mookie are those people for you. And there's a reason why. Because there's a little bit more trust that you can't do something wrong here. You can't say something wrong. This is safe. Which is why if I call you out, I can call you out very bluntly with a smile in my face because I know this is safe. I don't have to be scared of doing something wrong here. And a lot of the time we get with people that as the relationship goes on, we feel less safe. The safety net we think we have with them, there's holes in it. There start to be holes. So now we're trying to hold on as much as our emotions as possible because we know if we let it slip, this person is not going to hold on to all of it. Right. Parts of it is going to get neglected. They're going to miss certain points, whether that's because of their personality, whether that's because of the last argument or the last time they yelled at you. A lot goes into cracking this foundation you think is going to be ready to cut out your emotions when you allow yourself to release, when you pour into that person. And I realize a lot of the times it's like that fear is all, like a lot of the times people suck at communicating because you chose the wrong partner. You chose someone that chose to ignore everything you care about in moments where things are difficult. You chose someone that had no issues with neglecting you the moment they were angry. You chose someone if they were hurt and they felt insecure, they will do whatever to you to make you feel smaller so wherever they're at, they can be above you. A lot of the times, it's not the fact that we have these flaws. It's the fact that we have, how do I say this? We have bad tendencies, right? And we get around people that are every single reason why we have these tendencies in the first place. I built this because I was around this person. A lot of the times, you'll come across someone and they have so many bad habits. Why? they were with such a toxic ex. Bro, some people don't just walk away from things. A lot of people have abandonment issues. A lot of the times we sit here and ask, yo, why did you stay in this relationship? Because it's the first time anyone that said they loved them stayed. At times that's really hard to understand for people that's had people that loved them. But at times the reason why your home girl or your home boy is staying in this relationship that's so toxic to them, it is the only time someone said they loved them and they chose to stick around.
It's unfortunate. You gotta stay uncomfortable in your relationship, right?
Yeah,
but that's how you
bro.
grow as a couple. That's how you grow as a person.
It's trust that the person loves you. That is one last thing that I'll add. Like, for me to not say something to you that may make you feel, I'll be very transparent. The last person I was with, that was the thing that I struggled with the most. I'm great at communicating, but we're in a situation where you're asking me to say something that's about to make you cry. The moment it slips my lips, I know you're gonna cry, or I know it's gonna make you feel a certain way. I know this is gonna hurt you, even if you're in the wrong and this isn't about me. In those moments, yes, and when it's about me, yeah, the shame and everything like that, it makes me feel that way. Mm-hmm. But even in those moments where I am in the position to call things out and I am valid for doing it,
and you don't.
Something about me is like, I can't hurt this person. But what I've realized was, it wasn't because of her. It was because of the last person I was with. I loved the fuck out of them. I did so much for them. But the moment I put them in a position to call something about themselves that they weren't ready to accept, I was told, you're too much. Mm-hmm. And for me, being too much is something that I'm very scared of. Because I go above and beyond. And in my past, I will say, it absolutely was misguided. Maybe I cared about something way too much. But then now the person is saying, like, yo, you too much to deal with, you're too much to manage. Instead of saying, this motherfucker actually cares this much about me, which is why he's investing so much time and thought into this.
What sucks is, even in that moment, it seems like it's so much, right? It seems like it's such a heavy burden on your shoulders and you don't know what to do about it. You feel like the whole world is crumbling down, right? One huge thing to just note is, just because you say something directly, something that's on your mind, and the other person doesn't take it the right way, that says more about the other person than it says about you.
100%.
So much more. And when you're thinking about the way that they react, right? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Like, we got into physics real quick.
Like real stuff.
Ace physics, my fault.
Yeah, physics was good.
That was actually not gonna lie.
But just because you say something direct that may come off as aggressive does not mean the other person has to come off as aggressive. Right? That's not the intention behind it. So, to be honest, hey, just find someone that works with you. Honestly, just communication styles goes a long way. When you're talking to somebody in terms of just how much you love them, right? They're going to love each and every single moment of that situation. But the moment it becomes something about their own flaws, their own characteristics.
It's not that enjoyable.
Right. It could even come down to mannerisms. Hey, I didn't like the way that you approached that person and you spoke to them. I get that you have a flirty personality, but I just didn't appreciate that you did that in front of me.
100%.
Right?
100%.
That being said and communicated is so much more. And if that person says, okay, but that's just how I am, that now says, okay, this person doesn't care about how I feel.
Yeah, they don't care about your reaction. I will say this 100%, like, whoever you're with, and generally, like, this is probably some of the realest advice I can give to a man, and I'm going to say exactly why I'm addressing it to a man, but everybody can get something from this. If the person cares about right and wrong over your emotions, I promise you, run. Run.
Skedaddle.
As a man, this is exactly why I am saying this. You, a man, are a logical being. You have emotions. There are times when you can be too stuck in them. But at the end of the day, even when it comes to how you maneuver through your emotions, you seek that for guidance. Mm-hmm. You seek logic to guide your emotions. Why? Because a lot of the times when you get to a point and you really care about some shit, what do? You call one of your homeboys and what do you say? Nah, bro, I just wanted to see if I was bugging. What does that say? That simple line I get from all of my friends. There's not a man that can be like, nah, my boy, he never said that shit to me. Bullshit. We all say it. I just wanted to see if I was bugging. I wanted to see if I was tripping. You can have ways to say it, but ultimately so many men call friends, I just wanted to see if I was bugging. And all you're really saying is, bro, I know this shit pisses me off, but am I right for feeling this way? And there are times you're not gonna be right for feeling something. But it doesn't mean your partner shouldn't care.
Right.
It doesn't mean they should neglect that shit. Like there are times like something as simple as like you gave somebody at work your Instagram. It was a social thing. Everybody was exchanging socials just to keep a track of each other, seeing each other's personalities. They wanted to make sure we knew each other more than outside the corporate place. It was suggested by the event themselves. I don't give a fuck. Like, and this is my point. She did nothing wrong. She's in a setting where everyone's doing it. People are married. I don't give a fuck. Don't them niggas got you on teams? The fuck no, they don't gotta see you at home life. None of that. Work is work.
Work is work.
Y'all gotta have a meeting one-on-one with a man. That's fine. Work is work. But when you get home, nobody at work should have access to home. Fuck that. No. But my point is, there might be a shorty that tells you, I didn't do nothing wrong. You're bugging. You're mad and insecure. What the fuck? You know them shorties. You know the aggressive ones. Those from New York. You're not always safe here. Come on. But you know those. You're going to be like, and the moment insecurity is brought up, every man is like, the ego in you is like, even if you are an insecure man, I'll be honest, even if you are.
Shout out New York.
It's okay, bro. I've been there. Sometimes I'm still there. I'll keep it a band. Come on. But yeah, there's a shorty that's not gonna take it. And if all she's focused on is right or wrong, your emotions as a man, something that you're not even too good with, something that you really want your shorty to be able to lean in and offer you support in. If she's really stuck on right or wrong, you will be disrespected so much and you will never feel secured in that woman. Bro, I am telling you. I know there are things where I give my advice and I'm like, you can take it or leave it, but this is not one of those.
No, but that's it.
This is just factual.
It's factual. And also, quantity over
Come on,
quality.
nigga, talk to him.
Excuse me. Quality over quantity, right?
100%.
When you're telling people about your problems, don't just tell the entire village, bro. It's not worth it. Why? Because you're gonna get people that are gonna tell you, yo, you're not bugging, but
You ain't
nothing,
too right
right?
for doing this shit.
You ain't
I
too right for
gonna
doing
lie.
it. But the whole time you were wrong, right? You're not bugging. You should feel this way. Go back there and say, talk your talk, right? Spit your spit. That's not how it should be, right? I've got a few friends in my circle who I tell, what's going on in my life. If I ask Chance right now, yo, am I bugging about this problem? He is going to tell me the honest, straight to God answer. That's it, right? But otherwise,
bro, out of love.
out of love, you know what I mean? But you can't have those friends that are going to be like, hey, you're not bugging, by the way. Go back there, go tear some shit up. That's
The whole
not how
time
it
you're
works.
wrong.
The whole time you're wrong. You make yourself look crazy.
Some of y'all
Don't do
friends
it.
support bullshit, bro. They support drama because when they give you bad advice and you go out there, you do it and it don't work out, you come back with more drama to tell them.
Hey, but
Misery loves company.
That comes from the house.
Understand
That comes from home. That comes from your friends.
Them motherfuckers is miserable.
Man.
They just want to spice up your life so it looks more like theirs. Because when your life and my life don't look too close together, you might walk away and think you better. Or you deserve more. What you do. But that friend that's miserable, that's not willing to change, that don't want shit to do with their life, they understand that. So you think when you find this new young man that's attractive and he's a scholar, he's gonna be like, oh nah, boo, oh nah, bitch, I seen his IG, he's a red flag. He's a red flag, girl, I be careful. And then the first thing that man does, ooh, but the whole time she's like, if she finds herself a great man, an educated man, she might take her life too seriously. I need her to be in these streets. She gotta be outside with me. Every Friday we gotta be, come on, like shit like this happens and y'all act very clueless to it. A lot of your friends don't like you. And I will say this to women. Y'all don't like half of your friends. Like woman friendships are so sensitive. Like they break so easily.
Oh, God
because
forbid
there
you don't
isn't
show
enough
up to
foundation.
dinner. God forbid you don't show up to a date. Oh, man.
Bro, what? I seen a meme that was like, what was it? It was like, I missed my boy's baby shower. I'm happy I'm a man and we're still friends.
Yo,
Bro, y'all
God
take
forbid you
shit
don't
so
show up to a birthday
seriously,
dinner,
bro.
bro.
It's
God
raps.
forbid.
It's raps.
It's raps. You can't be friends
raps.
anymore.
It's raps. Like
Oh,
I've
man.
seen the story posts the next day when friends didn't show up. It be your own. Let me keep my
It be
language.
your own,
It
playing
be your
Marvin's
own
Room for the
girls.
background
It be your
music.
own. Of course, y'all say bitches. It be your own bitches. Like wow, it's really the backstabbing for me.
Wow.
It's the acting like you're really my friend, but then don't show up to celebrate me.
Really giving me OJ Simpson. Like, come on, bro. Like, I need some energy, right? And if you're gonna reciprocate my energy, then so be it. If you're not in the moment, that's okay, as long as it's communicated. Yo, word of the day, bro. Communicate. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of times, and what Chance was saying earlier, yo, bars, by the way, right? When it comes to a man's relationship and communicating and just being like, hey, by the way, it's not gonna work out. Right? Keep that same energy. Because at the end of the day, just know if you as my boy cannot show up to something, it's okay. Because next time I'm still showing up to whatever you got going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that shit seriously.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I will say, a lot of women, I realize, y'all like a community. And I'm not, like, I know this is a bad flaw that everyone has, not just women, but men as well. Just because I say woman and I say men, I'm not referring to every single woman on this fucking planet. So you might be hearing this and you hear woman and it don't apply to you.
But if the shoe fits.
Take it. If it don't, just be like, I'm not this. I'm not part of this conversation. And that's fine. You don't gotta get on my dick. Not every single woman is like this. I know. Tighten the fuck up. Like, but bro, a lot of women like this idea of having a community around them. They don't want there to be a moment where they're thinking of something they want to do, something they want to have, something they want to experience, and there's no one in their circle to do that with. They like always having someone for something. So y'all keep friends around that you don't really like. And if you think that I am not aware of this, I've been very close with a lot of women that vent to me. So this is not about my perception. This is generally what people bring to me. Y'all have so many problems about your friends. Yo, call this motherfucker out on X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, why y'all friends? No. No, why are you guys friends? I didn't say what makes them a decent person outside of their
Yeah.
flaws. Why are you guys friends? Half the time I don't get answers for that shit.
Clueless.
Which
Well,
is why when that person does something that's hurtful, you're quick to walk away, bro, because the shit is done. And I'm not gonna lie to you, a group of people just watched me do that. It made you're staring too much, and a man is next to you. Come on, but no, I actually don't get that. It'd be the sickest shit. Like yo, stare into my soul, and a man is right next to you.
Go focus on your boyfriend, my young buck. Anyway.
This is the part where we ended off with 5 random questions. Oh, this is random bullshit. But what was the best moment in life or your favorite memory? I ain't asked it, bro. They did. That's a hard one.
My best moment in life is waking up every single day. I'm not even gonna lie to you. A lot of
That nigga's
times,
trying to be deep. He's bullshit.
no, but like
Nah, he bullshitting.
realistically, right?
It's not the best day
like,
in his life. You saying the best day in your life is the day you wake up?
My favorite
so
memory.
you having
It says
the best
it
day
says,
since you've been alive.
but that's the best moment.
But it's not a
The
moment.
best moment. The best moment. I don't got a best moment, bro. I used to think that in all the relationships that I was in prior, I
Nigga
was
was
having
say-
the best moment.
So that means you're not secure.
But they ended.
No. If your best relationship,
You know what I'm saying?
This is about to be therapy session. If your best memory,
Mm-hmm.
you just thought it was tied to a relationship, something says about you when you're single.
I think of happiness when I travel, when I go places. The most
Is
I've
it by
traveled.
yourself or is it with somebody?
That's the thing.
Talk to him.
The most I've
Talk to
traveled.
him.
The most I've traveled was when I was in a relationship,
But why?
right? Because I was with somebody that I shared.
No. Were
What's
you
that?
completely broke when you were single?
No,
Ooh. You see something I learned about men and I learned about myself?
talk to me.
We're more worried about creating new experiences when we have someone to experience it with, someone to impress these experiences with. Think about it. Think about all the dope shit you do. sometimes you think about them when you're single and you're like, I'm not gonna do it until I'm in a relationship. Keep
Yeah.
it a band. Keep it a band. But it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
It's not.
Men, whatever cute shit you thinking about doing for a shorty, whether or not she's around or she's not around yet, go do that shit by yourself. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, if you have a woman that you're with, don't experience it with her. That's fine. But whatever that experience represents for you, where there's like, oh, like for me, I love arcades. Like I grew up playing video games. I didn't always have access to it when I was a kid. That's what people are saying. It's not like I constantly play video games. No, as a kid, I lived in Haiti. We don't even I was in Haiti I was birthed there. I didn't move there until I was 10. We don't even have consistent electricity. I feel like sometimes people in the US, you are very entitled because you're not aware of what you have access to constantly, that most people are praying that they have access to that.
I agree.
Anywhere close to what you do. Like, I don't even know what time. Like, you know how Harvey, I can text Harvey any time of the day. Yo, I'm getting on the game at 8. I can't even tell anyone in Haiti, oh, I'm going to play the game at this time because they might not be Wi-Fi. I said Wi-Fi. You got to go somewhere for Wi-Fi.
They're not getting on.
You got to go to a little room with devices for Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. You don't have Wi-Fi constantly. And then with even power, you don't have power constantly. It's just crazy. But my point is, at times, we don't look about what these experiences mean or why we're trying to experience them with somebody else. Like I said, for me, the arcade thing was because I didn't always have access to that as a kid. So for me to be in a space where there's so many lights, to y'all, it's normal. But every single time I step into one of those places, the kid in me that didn't even have a system, that had to go somewhere to pay $10 to have a few minutes on a game of Mortal Kombat to go play with my brothers, that kid feels different when I step in those doors and there's a game here. That kid in me is, what's that word I'm looking for? Like ecstatic. Like there's so much joy that comes in me. So for me, being in those places, even though it meant so much, I never went to Dave & Buster's unless I was in a relationship. Never.
Let's go.
That's my point.
Let's go right now.
Bad.
Yo,
but even that's the thing. Not even going with somebody. That 100%. But even the idea that if something makes me that happy, why do I need someone there?
Why don't you just go by yourself?
That's my point.
Yeah.
But so many men, so many of us are exactly like this, bro. We don't do shit alone.
See, I get that.
Tell me what you do alone that you generally enjoy outside of the gym, outside of the going to work.
I go to the driving range by myself. It's fun.
There's not enough.
It's not enough.
Do you think there's enough of those things? There's not enough things that we do that brings us joy alone. That's why I started hiking, bro. Although it seemed like,
Be careful,
you hiking and shit? No, I always bring a little something I can swing. Yeah. I'm not going to hold you. I always bring something that will do a little damage.
There's bears out there, bro. There's bears out there. That's crazy.
Yeah, for me, that's why I liked hiking, because I could be with someone and I love it, and I don't even think about their presence, which means their presence is not what makes this experience for me.
Well, so let's go back then. Out of the sake that it was in a relationship. So I was in a relationship when I did this, but I went out to LA and I went out to Dodger Stadium. I went out to go see Shohei Ohtani hit his 43rd home run of the season. That was mad fun.
Even on trips, bro. I think y'all should have something set to do by yourself.
I agree.
Even on trips.
Even if it's got to be like, hey, I like to do this thing, you can come or you don't have to. I'm still going to go.
Think about how much shit you do on a trip. Think about how much shit you do on a trip that you don't like just because you have to do everything with your partner. Keep it a band. Keep it a band. You're creating the experiences to create her happiness, and you get to take a lot of pride in that. But
I see that.
Let's be honest, because half the time in the back of your head when something's about to be planned, you are already telling yourself this, and I might be wrong, but I do this. What she wants is the priority. If I can give that to her without having to give too much of my personal preferences, she's in control.
Yeah. But that's a thing. That's like a thing. That's a thing that.
But that's my point. If it's a thing here, and this is the one I experience everything with, and I also don't do shit on my own, when do I truly get to experience the things that I want to experience? When am I fully in control outside of just making things happen, outside of just being a provider? When are you in control to be in the moment? Not to create the moment, But when are you feeling in control to create a moment that you can be present in and enjoy just as much as she does?
Without feeling like you're hurting their feelings.
That's my point. Which is why I say
Never. Why? Because I'm a guy.
I told y'all.
Never.
I be spitting.
Yo.
And understand this. I did not figure this out. I still do the same
Hey,
shit.
the same way that you're like, hey, I should have said this in this conversation is the same way that I'm like, damn, I should have brought this up while we were on the trip. I wanted to go here. Like, dude.
Bro, it's the same thing.
Every time.
Just be very
Every time.
careful. But yeah, okay. Let's try to rush fire these. How do you feel about the presidential election? Don't get canceled on my shit.
I don't.
I'll be very honest, right? I knew one of two things would happen. I don't like to care about politics too much, so I'm gonna give the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
If Donald Trump wins, good for businesses. If Kamala wins, there's a lot of infrastructures that would go to shit.
Good for morale, though.
Good for morale, yeah. So my point was, I didn't really care too much. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
things are just going to happen, bro. We're still going to live. Gas
Sorry.
prices are still
All I'm
going to go up.
saying is, bro, like, bro came into the office. A lot of things financially were looking up.
Mm-hmm.
He went out. Inflation went to its highest peak.
Bitcoin's now at $92,000.
So my point is, I'm not saying this is a Donald Trump versus, not at all. But all I'm saying is, we did something wrong. After him, we did something wrong. He did not start this shit. All I will say is 4 years after him, and inflation is at its worst it's been. That's all I'll say. I'm not saying I like Donald. I don't like Donnie, you feel me? I'm not saying I like Donnie. I'm not saying I dislike Donnie. I'm just saying you won't know how I feel about Donnie. You gotta feel how you feel about Donnie based off yourself.
Hey,
we'll
shout
get
out
to start
Donnie. Shout
Twitter
out
back.
Donnie.
I am never going back on Twitter.
Yo, Twitter is crazy. Shout out Elon.
Yeah, but they're
man.
not talking about that.
Oh.
Ah. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm a changed man. I found the Lord.
Hey, Mom.
I don't do that no more, mother. I'm not gonna hold you. If my mom ever finds out a certain part of me, I'll
brother.
live it.
Oh, brother.
That is a religious woman. To know that her son was out here being
cranking.
an actor
Cranking.
for the. I was sinning, mother. I apologize. How did you start a healthier journey? What triggered it for you, and why have you been consistent? And I'll answer the same thing, and this is where we're done.
For me personally, it was the fact that I was smoking every single day without going to the gym. I found myself in predicaments where my health was in question. And I was like, you know what? I just got to go into the gym right now because I'm not feeling too good. I'm not feeling my best. Eating better is the foundation of your health, to be honest with you. So eating better was my first thing. And then going to the gym and making sure that I was okay physically was my second priority. Kind of looking up to some of the guys that were kind of going crazy in the game. Dr. Sebi, rest in peace. But a lot of his recipes do go crazy for people with asthma, people with diabetes. Look into his recipes, they go crazy. But stuff like that, adding that turmeric, adding your spices into your smoothies, like stuff like that. Sea moss is really good for you too, guys, if you're not like really big into it.
100%.
But stuff like that really helped me out because now I'm looking at, just how to get to places. I think a lot of the biggest and hardest part of the journey is knowing how to get to where you want to be, right? You know where you want to go, but how are you going to take the steps to get there? So a lot of these recipes help me out. So just look into that kind of thing, guys. Finding a schedule was super hard, but once I did, that was like huge for me. So within that second or third week that I was going to the gym, finding out that I had the time to go 5 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week was my big thing, right? So that's how I kind of gained that confidence in going and making sure that I was going in a better and healthier direction. Yeah. So.
Love that. But I'll say for me, I'll be very transparent. Like, I think it was after not my most recent relationship, which means if you guys are listening to this and you've seen the last person that was on my page, I'm not referring to her at all. That is a great woman. That is a woman I respect highly. But prior to her, we had another person there. And I want to get to the point where it's like, I don't hold nothing against people. I think I've met this person when I was young, right? They were a little younger, and I think a lot of people tell me I'm beyond my years when it comes to my maturity and how it aligns with my age. Which means my maturity is probably we're pretty far when it comes to maturity. But Yeah, I realize I hold things against people, and I'm trying to get away from that because I don't think you truly heal if every single time you think about a pain, you attach it to a person instead of attaching it to how you react to it and how it impacts your life. But that specific person at the time, they did a number on me, I will say. They did a number on me. And it got to a point where the relationship ended for good that time. And I had to look at myself. I'm like, I invested so much into you. I was pretty much everything you needed. I stepped up and I was that. And now I had to kind of look at myself with what I was left with. And I realized everything I invested into that person, I wasn't really going to get a payout for none of it. And I was like, damn, so how do I build myself? Because I tried to build you up and I got nothing out of it. And during that time, I took a lot of things away from myself. So it's like the relationship ended and I had to come to terms with the fact that I did so much for someone that didn't give a single fuck about the position they were going to leave me in. And the easiest answer was gym, for me to start building myself back up. Because they left me at a lesser version of myself. And I know for a fact I might have added some trauma to this person's life. Of course, I wasn't perfect. But that person can never say that I did not try to make them better. I did not invest myself. I put myself at risk for the sake of them getting better. So outside of that relationship, when I finally had the time to be like, damn, I got nothing. The gym was the easiest solution because I wanted to see something different. I didn't want to look at that guy she was able to overuse, and I was just there for the ride because I wanted to be useful. I didn't like it. But yeah, that was a big thing for me. I was like, fuck, no, this is never happening again. So I constantly kept on building myself in the gym, got addicted to this shit, and it became my escape. In the gym, there's not a moment I step in there and I feel small or I feel like something's about to be taken from me. I'm about to be taken advantage of. I feel fully in control when I'm in the gym. When I'm in the gym, at times, I hear my thoughts and I'm confused as where they come from because it's been so quiet the whole time I'm at the gym. You don't understand how much peace I find. Like, there are times I go in the gym and I don't think I have a single thought. And that's powerful. So to have an escape that could allow me to feel like I'm getting better, it was just nothing like it. So that's why I got addicted to the gym. That's why I started. And that's why I'm never going back. Because for me to go back is for me to say I don't care about the past 2.5 years that I've done all this work for. But it's also a journey. So if I lose it randomly, all I tell myself is I did it for 2.5 years. I know how to do this again. So it's all about knowing which thoughts, what triggers helps. But yeah, that was a big thing for me. I appreciate y'all niggas. Y'all are great.
Good shit.
But clap it up for my boy Harvey for being here.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
But thank you. We had a little heart to heart. I wanted to be on some cool shit. Sometimes it don't got to be that serious. Sometimes if you see two people talking. Because the thing is, I know y'all love me, but there's a good chance somebody out there watching this relates to him a lot more than you relate to me. I have a pretty great personality, but my personality is mine and mine only. I can't relate to every single fucking word.
My personality's all right.
You feel me? It's all right. It's decent or whatever. But yeah, like some of y'all probably felt every single fucking thing he said. I can present good advice, but sometimes if you hear a motherfucker say, I do X, Y, and Z, and you're like, nigga, I do X, Y, and Z in the same fucking order. You're like, whatever he says, he's gonna understand me when it comes to this. For me, I gotta hear you out and then be like, oh yeah, this is the advice that tailors you best. For him, he gives it. If you relate to him, it's exactly what you're looking for. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all are great. I'll be very honest. I am looking forward to the ganja.
Word.
This was a long sit down. I ain't gonna hold you.
Shout out Rozzy. Shout out High
appreciate
Profile
him.
Bodega over
This is his first
Rozzy
time
on
doing
Washington
this.
Street. You feel me?
This is his first time doing this, and I kept him in here for this long. You're welcome.
Hey, was it an hour and a half?
You can put your
Hour and
mom
a half,
onto this
hour and a
and
half.
the family. Y'all
Yeah,
can
they-
watch this together.
Oh,
They'd
shit.
be like, yeah, it's going to be YouTube, nigga.
Hey.
They with 4K
Yo,
too.
Shout out
4K.
Selly. Shout out Selly. Shout out Donald Trump. Shout out Elon Musk. Y'all know what it is. Good times, good vibes.
Selly, I understand that because that's
Selly.
Kevin. Where did Donald Trump and
Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I don't know. We brought it up at some point today. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
but no, look.
Shout out Kamala Harris.
Stop. Politics. I don't do that on this platform. We talk about emotions, reactions, mental health. Elon Musk is a smart guy with technology. That is all
Shout out
I will
Tesla.
say about him on this platform. And Donald Trump, I love the world. I love people. I love everyone. Donald Trump, great guy. If you say he's a bad guy, you're not God. Don't judge. See how I fixed that up?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But I appreciate y'all. I generally hope everything goes well. If you guys need anything, I will always be a source of support. I don't know, bro. Like, whatever I can be to you guys, I want to be that. I don't have a set role that I want to play in this world, but I know I want to be able to invest in people. I want to be able to help. I want you guys to, 4 years, randomly be able to tell me I got you through quarantine. And I'm getting that, and I'm not going to hold you. Every single time I have to hold myself back from crying. Like, you have to understand, it's like, I'm someone who used to watch YouTube, and I'm watching there wasn't an influencer thing, right? There was just, you're watching YouTubers, you're watching creators. And there were times where I'm like, yo, I really think this creator because they got me through something. And now to be in the same position, like, I think that's what you guys have to realize. Like, when I was young, I had people to look up to that helped me go through a lot. And now someone out there is young at my age, and I'm the person on their screen. Like, bro, that's...
See, I love that because during COVID is when a lot of these,
I
you know,
mean,
like the new
a lot,
content creators were coming out. And I know that's when you came out too, and you were just like, hey, this is popping. For those who are going through some stuff and have really gone through some stuff through COVID and it's kind of going on right now, use this as a source of support. Like, we get it. You know, things happened. COVID was not the end of the world, but for a lot of people it was, right? And that goes for their emotions just physically. I get it. You know what I mean? You kind of let yourself go. I did too, right? You weren't talking to people every single day. You weren't seeing people every single day. Just use the people around you, right? It takes a village not just to raise a family, but to grow yourself, right?
You can't do shit by yourself.
Right.
I am addicted to the title of I can do everything by myself. And even I'm telling you this. There's not a single thing that you can do on your own. And I know this because I've asked a lot of successful people that are a lot older than me. And I do believe experience trumps all when it comes to a teacher. Mm-hmm. So I trust in what people that have done it say to me. Patience. Patience is a big thing. Everyone has their own time. Don't compare yourself to the next person. Your win might be 10 times more than theirs. But the timeline for it is right now. Yours, you got 2-3 more years before you tap into that.
Yeah.
But it makes up for the 2-3 years that you had to wait. Just be patient. Trust in yourself and your own timeline.
It'll come.
Stay vigilant in the sense of like focus on exactly what you need to focus on. And then understand that everything you have planned will not go according to plan. Right?
Bar.
Expect the unexpected. Expect everything to go wrong. And I was given this advice about parenting because I'm in charge of my nieces right now. And somebody was like, expect your nieces to disappoint you. I got this on social media and I applied it. It was like, expect your nieces to disappoint you. Watch how you feel. I'm not saying say they don't love you, accept that they don't love you, they disrespect you, but no. Expect that they're going to do things wrong. Expect that they're not going to listen to you. In those moments where it happens and you're expecting it, how do you feel? And I'll be honest, I didn't feel as drained. I didn't feel as angry. Sometimes we lie to ourselves over and over again, hoping it changes the reality around us. If I keep telling myself my nieces are going to get it right, one day they're going to somehow become an adult at an 8-year-old body and never do nothing wrong. You're just lying to yourself because you want this, but you know it's not true. Expect what's to be expected. But yeah, I love you guys. I hope you guys stay safe. This has been another episode of A Chance to Strive. Stay healthy. Keep being you.